The following podcast will consist of chip crunching, burp belching, microphone fiddling, chair squeaking, as well as additional shenaniganry and other unprofessional podcast etiquette. The OCD of you have been warned. Hey, welcome everyone to another episode of the Chimichanga Superstar Podcast. I'm your host, Christian, and with me as always is Haley with the news. Joining us today is the ever-elusive Michael, who has some stuff coming down the pipeline here, but we'll get you with some early access to this weird freak ahead of time. Michael, how you doing today, sir?
I'm doing well. Good to be here.
Welcome to the show. Michael and I go back, so does Haley, from the same evil, tormented, deranged connection that we have. Michael and I met for the first time after having worked together for, almost 2 years at that point, correct?
Yeah, going on 3, I think. Forget, when did you start? I don't remember when you started.
Oh, God, I started like a year prior to you, and you were like 2 years. Something along those lines. But yeah, we worked online, and we never met each other face-to-face. We only spoke to each other in audio calls or on digital calls online, and then we met face-to-face at a sleazy, dirty hotel room for the first time. A company-paid hotel room, and that was a treat.
It was great. It smelled like, it smelled like Axe in there. Like they just layered the place in Axe body spray.
It didn't only smell like Axe. It kind of gave a visual vibe of Axe body spray.
You know what?
Yeah, it was red neon. Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, when Christian was showing me pictures, that's exactly what I pictured it smelling like.
Yeah, this is definitely the hotel for the bro dude that's wearing Axe that just bought his first Ferrari. He's crashing the hotel.
Mm-hmm.
They're like the people that come up with the commercials. They're like, I need to stay in this hotel, and then I'll have a commercial idea for tomorrow.
Well, today's episode is in honor of that wonderful week because you and I had a fond experience at the local 7-Eleven. So today our topic is going to be 7-Eleven. And I popped the cherry of Haley and I are going for it. We went to get the trashiest, most 7-Eleven things ever. Cherry pop of our Four Loko.
Woo!
I figured
you know, they don't serve those at our Sev.
Oh, really? You don't get them? Oh, that's right. You call it Sev over there, don't you?
Because we go so goddamn much. I mean, There's one around the corner, and it's like an everyday thing. We're like, all right, I'm going to Sev now. And it's like, snacks and shit. That's really it.
That tastes horrible.
I have never had a Four Loko before.
That tastes absolutely horrendous.
It tastes like a watermelon warhead attempted to rape a natty light.
It tastes to me like there's a small alien trying to burst from my chest.
Ugh.
Funny enough, I am drinking a natty light right now. I am drinking a Natter Day.
A Natter Day?
Yeah, it's like strawberry lemonade.
Is it?
Mm-hmm.
I have never heard of that.
It's like a PBR mixed with like strawberry lemonade. It's kind of like...
And that's good?
If you combine them. Yeah, that's all right.
Ooh,
it's doing the job, I guess.
It has this aftertaste of like my great-grandmother's perfume.
You know those watermelon Jolly Ranchers? Imagine if one of those managed to go bad and you ate it. Like if it actually could go bad somehow.
Can they
and
go
then it
bad?
just like burns all the way down.
Yeah.
I've never had Four Loko, but now I have to have it.
It tastes kind of what I think white trash combined with poverty tastes like.
Mm-hmm.
But watermelon flavored.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Yeah.
Anyway.
You said with strain, it's fantastic. So good.
Oh yeah.
Refreshing.
So yeah, Michael, we on our adventure down to the Grand San Diego, one morning before the big convention we were working at, we stopped in at a 7-Eleven for the first time since, except for the first beer we had. But the first time I saw you smile and have a little joy on this trip, and it was over a 7-Eleven.
It was it was a Sev hot dog, and I was just like, this is the best fucking breakfast I could have while I'm here.
You had a hot dog for breakfast?
Yeah.
Yeah.
With no shame, he was completely proud of himself.
Yeah, it was good.
Was it like a taste of home?
It kind of was, yeah, because I just did not see myself like, I don't know, I didn't want to sit in line at Starbucks for like anything like that. I mean, like baked goods or whatever. I was like,
got to Starbucks. And
did you go to Starbucks as well?
Like right afterwards, yeah, because I'm a basic Cali bitch.
So
I need my espresso.
a both and kind of situation.
So Michael here does the greatest thing I've ever seen someone do with a 7-Eleven hot dog. He didn't want to scarf it down apparently, and he didn't want to throw the last little bite away. So the last little nub of his hot dog, he casually puts in his snack bag.
Oh.
I made the mistake of like throwing my it comes in a box when you get a hot dog.
Oh yeah.
And like I threw it away because I was like, oh, well, I'm just gonna eat this on the way to Starbucks. But we got there sooner than I was ready for, and I just felt like a jackass, like eating this hot dog while I'm ordering like a Starbucks drink. And I'm like, you know what? I gotta put this somewhere.
I say, fuck it. You got a hot dog. Eat your hot dog. But
I know. I don't know why I cared. I should have just been like, fuck this place. And
we walk out of the Starbucks. You immediately reach into your bag and pull out this little nub of hot dog, and you're just so proud. You popped it in your mouth. Final hot dog.
I've never known anyone to love hot dogs that much.
Michael,
it was like the best breakfast. The whole week felt like I was like waking up hungover every morning, and like hot dogs are like the best, some of the best food for that. So I was just like, I feel like shit, and I'm pretty much like not at home, so I'm just going to like just act on like any impulse I can, even though it was a work trip. So I was like, I can't do anything impulsive while I'm at the convention, but like everything else, I could just do whatever the hell I want.
To be fair, we got pretty well fed at that convention, so a lot of that could have been good food hangovers. So I'm not gonna lie, I had lamb every night of the week that trip.
That sounds glorious.
Like really good juicy lamb.
Absolutely glorious.
Yeah.
Oh man, that first night at Fogo was awesome.
Oh god, yeah. Well, enough of us bragging about our wonderful adventures. Haley, why don't you read us the news while we start working this Four Loko into our bloodstream?
I feel like every time I take a sip, it's like, ugh. You
watching
can hear me groan.
Yeah, watching your face with every sip has been my favorite part of this recording so far.
Okay. So recently, this past weekend, Detective Pikachu premiered, and apparently there was a theater that accidentally showed the wrong movie.
Oh.
Hundreds of children were terrified when the movie theater played La Llorona instead of Detective Pikachu.
The movie about the Mexican ghost lady that kidnaps and eats your children or something like that?
Because she drowned her own children and is now cursed for life?
Isn't like the first few minutes of that like just like scenes of her drowning her children?
Kid? Yes.
Yo. Mental scarring.
So, it was a theater in Montreal. Screen Rant's Ryan George was actually there and took to Twitter to, like, live tweet his reaction.
Honestly, I'd be a little disappointed that wasn't the actual opening to the Detective Pikachu movie. It was like a really gruesome, fucked up murder, and Detective Pikachu's on the case.
Well, I mean, like, but here's the thing, is it actually started when the trailers came on. It wasn't even just, like, the wrong actual film. So the first trailer was for an Annabelle sequel called Annabelle Comes Home.
Creepy doll.
So it's a supernatural horror sequel about the terrifying Annabelle doll, obviously.
I love it.
This is at the point that Ryan George took to Twitter to advise all the children to look away. And here's what's funny is the kids were actually crying after the first trailer had finished. And so, like, it wasn't just the wrong trailers, it was the entirely wrong movie. So Ryan George reported that the trailers made way for The Curse of La Llorona, which is obviously the supernatural horror about a ghost who torments a social worker and her family. And keep in mind, as Christian and I mentioned, La Llorona opens with the scene of a mother drowning her child.
It's actually a pretty good horror flick. I saw that. I liked it.
Did you? Mm-hmm. Oh my god, I don't do horror films. So, like, I would be one of the children crying, absolutely.
I love them. I love watching scary movies with people, especially a room full with children that are supposed to be seeing a cute Pokemon movie instead.
I never saw that. I never actually heard of that movie, but like, I would agree with you, Haley, that like I would probably be pretty upset. I do not do horror very well either.
Detective Pikachu is about a Pokemon that sounds like Ryan Reynolds that has amnesia, and it is trying to solve some mystery. I don't know. It's some cutesy kid movie.
So what cracks me up is...
I'm such a dick.
It wasn't until, like, all through the trailers, all through the horror trailers, and all through the first scene is when the theater finally realized their mistake. And they, like, and so then, they shut off the movie. So then they, like, all the moviegoers were moved into a different theater where Detective Pikachu was actually paused. So what this actually means is that the theater just swapped the movies. So all of these horror fans who were here to see The Curse of La Llorona are, like, watching the trailer for, like, The Secret Life of Pets 2. And, like...
and then they go switch back over. Oh, you know what? Honestly, I wish that's how trailers were in movies. That they completely, like, fluff you up and get you ready, and then you see the actual film and it fucks you up.
Well, so, yeah, no, so, like, there were all these, like, horror people who wanted to see the movie and, like, were excited, and then it's like, Pikachu! Like...
I'd scream. Bloody murder. This is not what I signed up for!
Yeah.
That's funny, because I feel like Shannon, who's my wife, would actually, like, want to see the horror movie, and if I would just go because I'm like, all right, well, we're going to the movies. Because I just love going to the movies. Like, it doesn't really matter what it is. I will go to the movies. And I would sit there, and if it ended up being the Pikachu movie, I would have just been like, well, you can go to that other theater. I'm going to stay right here. This is great. I'm not leaving. We're good.
Right? Just split you up.
Life would have just rolled the dice, and I'm there for Pikachu now. That's just how it works.
I'm glad that you can just be so laissez-faire about your film viewing, Christian.
Well, no, if I were there to go see Endgame, and I'm sitting there for, like, ready for a 3-hour tour, and, you know, my bladder's empty, and I'm ready for this whole thing, and then there's Detective Pikachu, I'll throw a tantrum.
Did you just make a Gilligan's Island reference?
Mid-Endgame reference, yes. If I'm sitting there, you know, gonna go watch just some random 2-hour movie, and something else comes on, I just assume that's what I'm here for. This is fate. This is destiny. I'm supposed to see this film on this day.
All right. I mean, I guess.
Also, I fought for this seat. I'm not leaving the seat. I'm now sitting. Like,
I try and get to the movie theaters, like, really, really early because my favorite spot is the very last row in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel that. I'm like, no, fuck you. I'm not leaving this seat. That's your movie news.
That's our Pikachu news. Thank you for the Pikachu news. Oh, God, imagine those kids' therapy bills for the rest of their lives.
Oh, man. Like, imagine the distrust of, like, Filmage and also your mother. Like, you go to this movie and your mom is like, you better behave or we're going to turn this car around. And then you get there and the first video is of a mom drowning her children. Do you feel like it's one of those, like, it was like a intimidation power move, you know?
One mom, just one mom,
Just
looked at her
one.
kid, 2 kids in the back seat in the mirror and said, see that pond over there, kids? If you don't behave during this movie, I'm going to drown you in that pond on the way home from the movie tonight.
Imagine just like one mom, these children. Years of therapy, right?
I think that'd be great. I mean, not great for the kids, but great for me because it'd be fun. I'd laugh at it.
Oh my gosh.
Like, all the other kids are horrified, but, like, the one mom, like, leans into it. Like, all the other kids are like their moms are reassuring them, like, I'm sorry, you know, it's not, that wasn't the right movie or whatever. And this one mom's like, yeah, that was the right movie, you little bitch. Like, it's just like,
we're gonna stay here. We're not gonna switch to the other theater.
Oh God, that brings up a good topic. If I'm down to just sit there instead of watching a scary movie and watch Detective Pikachu, and I'm obviously willing to do it in the opposite if I wind up, you know, seeing Detective Pikachu, but I wind up seeing the scary movie instead. What if I'm the parent? My kids are with me. Do I force my kids into destiny as well? Do I just kind of say, well, kids, guess you're learning a fucked up lesson tonight?
Well, how much do you love your children, honestly?
Well, they don't exist yet, so I don't know if they're little shitheads yet or not.
There's the past.
Ah. Well, Haley, shall you move on and progress our news now that your mouth is not full of whatever's in your mouth? I picked that time well,
shoved a bunch of fries in my mouth need to cut this Four Loko shit.
Yeah,
Honestly,
this is horrible.
I'm like sipping it. I feel like I have not made a dent, and I am already getting sloppy.
I'm a third into mine. I'm
I
trying.
am
to force
so
my
jealous.
way into it.
I want some. I just want to try it now.
Well, now
Pour
when you
one
come
out
down,
for
we'll have
Michael.
to Four Loko you on.
Oh,
on
God.
air.
I tried to take a deep swig, and it just like, it hurt. I regret.
I almost want to contact them and get them to be the new sponsor for the show, just because I hate it that much.
Okay, here's what's so funny is I'm like reading the can, and it says a serving size is like 5 ounces, right? Fluid ounces. Servings per container is 4 3/4.
Oh, this shit's bad for you. We shouldn't be drinking this.
I feel like I can actively feel my insides rotting per swig.
I think that's the goal, though. I think that's why they made it.
It hurts.
This
I don't know why I signed up for this.
This is one of
They grow
those
back.
hey, you know what? If you're willing to drink this, you'll accept the terms and whatever happens.
And it's so sour,
It's
which is
so
so
bad.
funny because they had Four Loko sour. Like when I was going to grab it, I was like, "What's the trashiest looking one?" And this one had some kind of what is it?
It's got like this weird camo effect
Yes.
pattern. It's like dark
my God.
green with neon green with magenta. And then from a designer standpoint, you got so many fonts going on.
Oh
here.
my God!
Oh, honey, do
I'm
it
so
again.
sorry.
That
hurt me just
You
as
really
much as
should
it
not be
hurt
drinking
you.
Four Loko. Audience, for anyone listening, we do not endorse the use of
Please
drinking
don't
this.
do it. It hurts.
But if you want to go buy a bunch of it and use it at target practice or whatever else you could figure out, go for it. It'll be fun. But yeah, just don't drink this shit.
Or
Yeah,
send it to
no.
my house.
I'm gonna send it to Michael.
Mikey, we'll try anything.
It's true.
Yeah, no, I'm
Okay,
gonna
of
be
course,
honest with you.
no,
This is
but-
this is absolutely horrendous, and I'm
I'm about to abandon ship. Like
I'm-
I can't go on.
no, I'm in it to win it. I'm gonna Four Loko down. I can do this.
I feel like I'm getting more drunk and more in pain as I go.
Yeah, no, I feel like this is gonna be the kind of drunk where at the end of it, when I'm finally sobering up, I'm gonna have weird hallucinations of just like my worst nightmares, and I'm probably gonna experience the feeling of what it's like to be scalped.
Oh no.
But
I'm not
Or
about
drowned.
that. I miss my wine drunk. Like I'm just like, why did I ever think this was okay?
Quick, on with the news. Let's see how
Okay.
good we can do. Maybe the goal here from now on is to try to distract you through distract you through
Through a whore.
extra chemical
Four
abuse.
Loko.
A whore loco, yes.
A horror.
That's
loco?
amazing.
I love me them crazy
That's
whores.
what we should name this podcast.
Give me that political goodness.
So there's actually a Congress showdown with the executive branch, and here's what you need to know.
Are they gonna fist fight?
Basically. So the executive branch and the legislative branch are actually in a deadlock currently.
Mm-hmm.
The House could vote soon about whether to hold the Attorney General and a few others in contempt of Congress.
Thank God.
Right? So Democrats, who actually currently control the House of Representatives, they want more info about like the Mueller report and like Trump's taxes.
With like the
God, this
redactions.
hurts. And all of yeah,
That was
all
a
the
loco
redactions. Okay, the Republican administration of President Trump doesn't want to give anything up.
Of course not.
So the chairman of the House, the Judiciary Committee, Jerry Nadler, who's the Democrat in New York, he wants the full unredacted report of the special counsel Robert Mueller on his investigation into the Russian interference in the 2016 elections and during the Trump campaign. The Justice Department says that it can't comply with that because of federal regulations.
What a bunch of whores.
Meanwhile, the chairman of the House Ways and Means Committee, Richard Neal, who's a Democrat in Massachusetts, wants Trump's tax returns, and the Treasury Department refuses to provide them.
Why do I feel like this is just another birth certificate hunt? Like it's just another political, like random thing.
But is it, though?
I
The
think
guy's already a
this is,
scumbag anyways, so why don't we just, I don't know, shoot him? I didn't say that.
Well, that's complicated. I would think.
Wait a minute. No, hang on. What delivers fastest to the White House? Grubhub?
Uber
or
Eats,
Uber Eats?
DoorDash.
Yeah.
Or Postmates.
Because maybe, just maybe the best way about this is not actually to try to get rid of the president via normal means. Don't impeach him, don't get in trouble. Perhaps just send him a burger every hour.
Just
I don't
slowly
know.
clog
I
his
think the man
arteries.
lives on gravy. The man just like soaks himself in like steak gravy. I don't think he's gonna die from it.
Mary Queen of Scots, where he just like bathes in gravy.
Well, actually, yes, that's probably what it is, and that's probably why he's so orange, is because he adds all the Cheetos to the gravy mix.
Well, there's this like video about his diet, that like what he eats on a daily basis, and it's not normal. I mean, it's just like a bizarre diet.
I don't think he's Cheeto orange. You know what I think that is? I think that's maybe he just exfoliates with Kraft mac and cheese powder.
Or
mix.
Is it Velveeta?
No, that is not Velveeta. You take that shit back, Haley.
I was kind of wondering if it was Velveeta too.
I'm sorry. It's more like that Food for Less brand nacho cheese,
or as my girlfriend calls it, a giant can of yeast infection.
He bathes in that.
I think so. With all that he's already consuming through osmosis alone, perhaps the addition of one extra burger per hour could do him in. And all the American audience has to do is submit to however much a burger an hour costs. And if we're really happy per hour, maybe at the lower hour he gets like a 79-cent shitty burger, right? And then all the way up to like a gourmet carnitas on top. We'll call it like the lard bomb burger. Like, based on how America feels about him, they'll send him a different scale of burger every hour.
Or we'll send him one of those, what is it, from like KFC, where it's like the chicken.
Oh, the double down.
Yeah, the double down.
Yeah.
You know what? I've actually made a double down version of a burger, and that was really sloppy and greasy and horrible to eat, but I would do that again in a heartbeat.
Would you? In a heartbeat?
I'm wondering if like all of the beef would like only contribute to like the cow fart like ozone issue that we're facing with global warming. Like, you know, maybe we shouldn't.
I'm trying to eat so many burgers. I'm trying to do my part. Or is that the opposite of how we do this?
I think it's the opposite. I think he might contribute to the cow fart problem. I wonder what it's like to fart in the White House.
We took this news report in a very professional and like adult-like manner.
I'm proud of us.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Big orange fart.
So also, the leaders of the House Intelligence and the House Financial Services Committees...
She air-quoted intelligence.
They want financial records about Trump's business dealings with some of his creditors. Deutsche Bank and Capital One. But Trump and his family are actually suing those banks, seeking to block them from complying.
Back when Clinton was in office and the whole like dick sucking scandal was a big deal, everyone was freaking out like, "Oh God, how could things get any worse?" Well,
here we are.
And then we said, "Hold my Four Loko."
Yep. No, I hate to say this. I think I found the magic of this thing, Haley.
Oh shit! Have you tried it? I feel like once you drink a certain amount, because you know what's funny is I learned the more I drink, the less it tastes awful, and I'm like, oh no.
Do you know why
that
is,
Haley?
Haley?
Have I succumbed to the Four Loko?
As the Four Loko's high alcohol content affects you as you get further into the can's contents, it will actually create a numbness of your sensations that you receive. Therefore, you'll care two shits less about how crappy this can is.
The more I taste it, the less it tastes like my great-grandmother's perfume and more like watermelon Jolly Ranchers. And
the
like,
more
oh,
I
shit.
taste this, the more it tastes like your great-grandmother on her back in a bad day.
Oh, no.
And it's...
Don't talk about my Gigi like that.
I'm sorry. But your Gigi was a fantastic woman.
Yes, she was.
You know what? I'm not gonna follow because I could just... My brain is triggering with, all right, now say this. All right, now say that. Okay, now continue. All right, now go on with these four next statements consecutively.
So one of the reasons why they think he's hiding something...
Because your grandma Gigi?
Because of my Gigi.
And her perfume.
And her perfume.
Her sweet, sweet perfume.
The account of his former lawyer, Michael Cohen, also led opponents to believe that there may be evidence of his wrongdoing, obviously, like when he was testifying during the Mueller report. Cohen actually told members of Congress earlier this year that Trump routinely inflated the real value of his assets in order to qualify for bank loans, or he would misrepresent his apparent wealth, and also that Trump deflated the value of his property that he reported to authorities in order to pay less taxes.
This just in. President has small penis, must make world think it's big.
Right?
Didn't realize his consequences when he has to follow up by showing the size of his penis. News at 11.
Thank you for that.
See, I could do a little bit of your job.
I mean, do you want to handle?
I could at least introduce the news while you read the actual story.
I'll just actually read the substance and you just give the headlines.
Haley, I give excellent headline.
Ah.
All right. Oh god.
Oh man. Okay. So financial records from Trump's creditors, evidence from his tax records, or now secret findings by Mueller all could reveal more. And Democrats are eager for as much political ammunition as they can fire. So Trump actually calls all of this presidential harassment, and I put that in air quotes.
I call it Limp Bizkit.
But administration claims that they have the law on their side. Attorney General Barr says that he's not allowed to reveal grand jury material in the Mueller report to anyone, including members of Congress, because of the vital principle that the workings of a grand jury must be secret. Also, there's a long-standing practice that enables an administration to shield some of its workings from the public under quote-unquote executive privilege, which is the doctrine that emphasizes the importance of those within government being able to confer among themselves confidentially.
So important.
Which I feel like they're just working the system.
I feel like we need to just get rid of absolutely everyone in office because of shit like this. 100% across the board. Mm-hmm. And if anyone deserves to stay, it should be based on the ookie cookie principle.
Ookie cookie?
Yes, we should have everyone in Senate, Congress, the entire cabinet, should all jerk off or skeet or do whatever bodily fluid they can upon a giant cookie. Now, you must eat a portion of this cookie to maintain your seat in...
Ew, fuck
I thought that was a Limp Bizkit.
that is Limp Bizkit. Same thing. Ookie Cookie, Limp Bizkit. It's the same game. But this is a political...
So an Ookie Cookie on the West Coast is a Limp Bizkit on the East Coast.
You know what? I think it's based on what... I think it's based on how much sugar you add to the bake.
How much sugar? Is it made with molasses or sugar?
I think sugar, because if you use
made
molasses,
with butter or
it's
margarine?
not going to work out. And you never use margarine with
baking
cookies.
soda,
butter.
Or do you use just flour?
You know what? You could bypass all that and just go ahead and go flour and soda. Do you brown the
butter or do you soften the butter?
I soften my butter. I take it out to dinner. I loosen it up.
You wine and dine your butter.
I just jizz on a saltine. That'll get the job done.
Yeah, but afterwards you do add a little bit of cheese whiz, right?
I sprinkle some Parmesan on it because I'm Italian.
And if you don't have any Parmesan, just
Amen,
go
brother.
With some good old scratch that dandruff.
Little Romano.
Exactly.
Pecorino.
I like that we just really don't give two shits about the political side of this at all, do we?
I'm just doing it.
I hear it all the time.
You're discussing important things about our country and the politics and the people leading it, and we're just like, you know what? Let's jizz on a cookie. Let's come on a cracker.
Well, my roommates talk about this all the time. So I'm pretty caught up on the news. It's just oh my god, it's exhausting.
What do you need me for?
Everything.
No, I mean the political news, it's like an everyday thing, and I I'll just hear it and I'm like, okay.
All right, well then let's rip the rest of this Band-Aid off. Haley, hit us.
Okay. So the Judiciary Committee has actually voted to recommend the full House find Barr in contempt. And when the vote happens, Nancy Pelosi has not said when they're going to vote on this.
Because Nancy Pelosi does what Nancy Pelosi does.
But when they do vote, more than Barr are going to be involved in the vote, such as Mueller and McGahn as well. However, everyone knows that a court fight is going to take years, especially one involving big constitutional questions about the powers of co-equal branches of government. And meanwhile, much of the material in question will likely remain under wraps. So some Democrats are calling this a constitutional crisis, and others are just calling it a constitutional confrontation.
I just call it politics. How many virgin souls do you think Nancy Pelosi has to devour per year to maintain her health?
I mean, I think she, once again, throwing it back to Mary Queen of Scots, I think she just, bathes in the blood of virgins to maintain that youthful glow.
I don't know. I have a feeling that she's got some weird, gimmick to it that makes her feel like she's doing it in a special way. Or, those people who use dry shampoo and think that they're special? Mm-hmm. I feel like that's her. She's got some weird blood gimmick.
Oh, God. I can't control it. I am so sorry.
The Four Loko is dragging our pacing down too.
Michael, I have missed you so much.
Thank you. I missed you too.
Let me ask you,
Hmm?
what is it you like so much about 7-Eleven? Tell me your heartfelt love of the Sev.
Yeah, tell us your love of the Sev.
You know, it's a new thing for me actually because in Jersey we have something called Wawa, which is like
The Wawa.
they are everywhere here, and they're in a bunch of states now, but they're actually like from PA, so it's like a local thing, I guess. So anyway, Wawa's like where you go to get like sandwiches and shit. Like it's just like the everyday. Okay, I need lunch. I'll just eat dinner from Wawa tonight or something. Like, I'm sure you guys have like your version of that.
Yeah.
I'm like, Subway?
So, I mean, it's kind of like that. It's like if you mix 7-Eleven with a Subway, but it's like different than that. People from Jersey be like, that's not what it's like at all, and it's not. But it's the best I can do right now. So
a natter day in. This is the best you can do.
That's the best I got.
I find it funny because East Coasters get a lot of weird rep of loiterers. You guys get a lot of. I think it possibly has to do with like Jane, Silent Bob, or whatnot. But yeah, you guys get a lot of respect, a lot of reputation as loiterers in front of like Quickie Marts and 7-Elevens and random shit like that. And
you do find that a lot here. There's signs in front of Sev that say no loitering, but like there's like 3 dudes just like hanging out in front of that sign. Like just, asking for money or whatever. So
yep, we got those here too.
Big fat anyway.
But they're working. They're making money. So
I had a dude named, I didn't know what his real name was, but he told me to call him Mahalo. He's the whitest guy I've ever known, but he acted like he was,
from Hawaii.
From Hawaii.
Do I know this gentleman?
No, he's a homeless guy.
I feel like we all know a version of this gentleman.
Yeah,
I think so too.
We've all got our homeless Jesus that we've encountered in our lives. But this guy, I dropped a $5 bill, and he came, and I had headphones on so I couldn't hear him. But he came sprinting across the whole parking lot to give me a $5 bill. So I tell the dude thanks, and because you're such a cool dude, just keep the 5. That's really cool of you. I appreciate you otherwise. And he gave me this look like, no, man, no. I came to rush this to you because I wanted you to have a 5. Give me, break it for me. Give me some change or something. A 5's too much. I'm looking at him like, wait a minute now. Are you bartering me down? I don't have change. All right, fine. I'll take the 5 if that's all you've got. So he took the 5. And then he became my homeless buddy.
That's like dude, the lady in front of Sev. Sorry. Go ahead.
Because now that dude, he got probably $50-$60 worth of random free drinks and snacks out of me down the road because of that one act of kindness. Otherwise, if he just jacked that 5, I never saw him again. I could have given 2 shits less.
Now you're a friend.
Mm-hmm. He was my homeless Jesus. Except for that homeless Jesus that gave me a back massage at a Chinese restaurant. That was kind of cool.
That sounds great.
That was an actual Jesus, though.
Do you remember the lady in front of the Sev that was like, can someone buy me some food? And we were on our way, so I was like, well, I don't got time to go buy you food, but you can have... I was going to offer my apple fritter, or whatever.
And she shoots you down because it's not vegan or something like that?
Yeah, she's like, oh, it's not food, it's a pastry. And I'm like, I think it's food. I'm eating it for breakfast. What the fuck? And then she's like, I want a taquito. And I'm like, that ain't food either, you crazy bitch. And I'm like, I was so angry. I'm like, how could you say that?
Thank you for your kind offer. No, give me this instead.
Every time
I didn't know you were in a place to bargain with me over it.
I'm a terrible person, so I would buy I would go to Costco and I would buy the large granola bars, the fruit nut bars kind of thing. And then anytime I would see a homeless person, because I would keep him in my car, and I would roll down the window and I'd be like, "Are you allergic to nuts?" And they're like, "No," and I would just grab a fistful and throw it at it, not at it, because I'm in my car and the light is green, and I either I'll hand them to them, or I'll just be like, here, take this, and I throw it out of my car.
Every time I see a homeless person on the side of the freeway when you're first getting off the off ramp, I will always envision you overhanding a fistful of nuts at them, saying, "Get a job, you homeless loser."
No, it was granola bars, and they were fruit and nut bars.
Even worse, chucking a granola bar at someone's head.
A handful of granola bars.
Oh God, it's like a flat cannon of granola.
No, I think of it like a t-shirt cannon. Everybody likes a t-shirt cannon.
Until it's pointed at your face and the trigger is pulled.
And it's full of granola bars.
And they hurt a lot. And you need dental surgery and a new eye.
Next, you'll like throw like a whole box of like kashi at them, like, "Here you go," and just like launch it out of the window. Like, be healthy.
I gotta say that those
had
spinning
a good amount of protein in them, okay?
Those spinning hot dogs on the rollers are just one of the most. I don't know. There's something majestic about those to me. Just to watch that hot dog.
Do you ever wonder if those hot dogs get lonely?
No, because I buy them as often as I can.
Aww.
I'm just like Michael. That's why
You're a rescuer of hot dogs.
I'm a rescuer of hot dogs. I will not adopt many dogs, just the one so far, but I will in fact adopt any hot dog I see that needs a good home, and I will devour it.
Sometimes I wonder if they like watch their friends leave and they're just like so sad rolling on the roller, like a hamster on the wheel, just like a cog.
They're like, "Good for you, Steve.
Cog of the institution.
Good for you. Someone's teeth are gonna mash you up into this weird paste, and you're gonna be poop, and then you're gonna be a part of the world." Part
Goodbye,
of the big guy.
Sweaty sad hot dog. I'll miss you.
and then
what do you put on your hot dogs, Michael?
Sweat, jizz, homeless tears.
Yeah, all of that.
My brother used to make chili dogs because like some Sevs have like I'm trying to
little pump
attach the lingo. Yeah, but like with the chili, like with the like shitty chili that like comes out in a weird paste, and then and then the nacho cheese that always looks just like a little too runny, and you're not sure why.
I think that's all of them. I think that's like, it's not like, I think it's like standard for Sev. Like you gotta have like, it's just because our roommate gets it. He'll get like, he has like the card, so like he'll get points. And then he like, there must be like some like flaw with it because I feel like he's always getting a free pizza from them.
Oh yeah, they got you just give them your phone number and they'll give you free shit all the time.
I didn't realize that 7-Eleven offered pizza.
Oh yeah,
at one point they're gonna like owe him. Like he's like amazing
pizzas?
with it.
They got little shitty pizzas, little shitty taquitos, little shitty hot dogs, little shitty whatever can be done cooked in a warmer, they'll serve it.
And like served in tube form because all their food looks like just a tube.
Well, I have a feeling for that. I think that's for easy digestion and mastication and digestion into poop.
I can't drink this anymore.
It's already in the shape of poop, so like you're good to go. They're just saving you a trip.
I'm only halfway through.
Haley looks so done with her Four Loko.
I'm already I'm pretty sure I'm the drunkest I've ever been on this show, and I'm only halfway through this Four Loko.
You're never gonna survive.
I tap out. I tap the fuck out.
All right, well, I've still got a half of Four Loko left.
And I'm going to make you fucking drink mine, too.
And you know what? We've still got 15 minutes to fill. Let's see what I can do.
I'm just saying. So, how did 7-Eleven become such a national thing?
7-Eleven? It was like a block ice company. Some dude named John or James or someone's uncle who touched you weird at night. He came up with the idea of trying to make a convenience store, and he got block ice that he was originally selling, and then eventually he started selling other shit too. I know that.
Like?
Back 1927-ish?
Yep, Dallas, Texas.
They've been serving shit that long?
No wonder it's on both coasts. It's in the smack dab in the middle of Texas.
It's everywhere.
Well, it is everywhere.
Oh my gosh.
It's the biggest chain. It's actually one of the biggest physical franchise chains in the history of mankind.
No, it's true. Because, so my husband, he does, international travel because he's fancy as fuck. And he was talking about when he was in Bangkok, Thailand.
Bangkok.
And in Chiang Mai, there's,
Chiang Mai.
Those are real fucking
Those are
cities.
Words.
Those are words. I'm not drunk.
and half of them sound funny and the other confuse me.
He was saying that they have 7-Elevens every 5 feet, and they're and we were watching a documentary on.
It's like a Starbucks in America.
Oh, it's worse. We were watching a documentary on street food in Thailand, and there was a video of just the city, and he was pointing it out to me, and there's 2 7-Elevens. One directly across from each other, and then you go down seriously 15 yards, and there's another 2 right across from each other.
Okay, but explain to me this.
how come no matter what country you're in, and no matter how many different snacks, every 7-Eleven in the world will sell different things.
It's true.
But they all look and smell the same.
Mm-hmm.
It's so true. And they also always have that shitty chili cheese.
The chili and the chili and
I'm gonna
the
open up
It unifies
my
them,
potato
you know.
chips.
do it. No, we're
They're
past the
bond.
halfway point, so Haley's snack time is a full effect.
I'm hitting my drunk snackness, and I brought my own snacks this time, so I'm not begging
and
Christian.
they're nice and crunchy too, so it's gonna be
Oh
fantastic.
yeah.
No, yeah. So when I was in South Korea as a kid, I think I was like 9 years old. I managed to make it outside and onto the streets at around 9 o'clock at night, and I didn't know what time it was. I was a kid, and all the street food was amazing, but I had no idea what it was because some of this shit was like orange goop that came with a spoon in a small bag. And then I found
That sounds
Where
good.
were you?
South Korea.
Okay.
And then there was like the little fried things on sticks, which still to this day I have no idea what they were. And then this and that. And I was just getting fat as I possibly fucking could because all I had was a big wad of cash. Now as an adult, I realize how much cash I was walking around. I was walking around like $500 in my
Oh my
hand.
god.
9 years old, walking on the streets at 9 o'clock at night. Just whipping this
Jesus.
big wad of cash out. Like, give me some of that street food. And I saw a 7-Eleven. And I go inside, and I was more confused by the 7-Eleven than I was by the random street vendors. There was just so much weird pickled shit. Everything was pickled there.
And you can get anything
Yes!
at the 7-Eleven.
The woman offered, I was 9 years old at the time.
Mm-hmm.
The woman offered me a small handgun and an execution. And all I had to do was give a name and age and blood type. And they would kill whoever I wanted.
Name, age,
Man,
and blood
I wish
type.
my
wonder
Civ
what
had
the
that.
blood type was for.
Maybe just to confirm.
Sure. Fascinating.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, 7-Eleven all over the world, dude. Crazy.
They do have like everything because like there's shit that I'll need that I'll, you know, I don't want to go to Walmart or something to get, and then like Shannon will be like, well, maybe Seb's got it, and we'll go and they'll have it, and I'm like, what the fuck?
My
How do you
7-Eleven
guys?
out here
Why do you guys
sells
have
CBD
this?
now? It sells CBD goods already.
Do they?
Mhm.
Oh, ours does too.
Is CBD legal in Jersey?
It's CBD's legal
Yeah.
kind of everywhere. It has no mentally
No THC,
impairing
so.
stuff.
Oh, so but that's only been a recent thing.
I don't know. I don't follow that shit. I just know what they tell me. I just work here.
CBD doesn't work for me. Like I tried it, like to like take down anxiety or whatever, and I don't feel any less anxious. I just feel like I'm drinking this.
Fuck.
Like,
I'm more
stuff.
anxious now because I'm
No,
not supposed to be
I
anxious.
actually agree because like my anxiety comes from like overthinking, and so
Yeah, me too.
when I smoke weed, it like because what my problem is like I'll have serious maladaptive thoughts, and like I'll get stuck on those thoughts. But when I smoke weed, it
Yeah, the cherry
doesn't
get
make like my thoughts just come and go. So like I don't obsess over a specific thought, or I don't get caught up in a memory from that one time I made a mistake in the 3rd grade.
I'm the opposite. I can like weed will. If I'm like nervous about something, weed does not help. But
oh, really?
funny enough, acid is just fine. I don't worry about a
Acid?
fucking thing when I'm
Do
tripping balls.
you- Now, what is your LSD experience like?
None.
It's
Well,
like warm and
yeah.
fuzzy. Like I do it fairly often now, just because it's like my drug of choice, I guess. And it's great. I mean, playing video games while you're tripping is one of the best, like most relaxing
How do you
experiences.
I would like to try that. I mean, acid in general, yeah, because I've only had the one bad experience with it. But I'd like to try that in video games. That sounds really like something
I've
else.
never had any experience with it.
I feel like if you start it, like when your trip starts, because it usually takes like an hour for it to kick in.
Uh-huh.
When your trip starts and it's like kind of intense or you're just getting used to it, if you're playing video games at that point, you won't really notice and you'll just be in it. You'll just suddenly become like things will just like the game will be really cool. You know, you're just like, wow, this is a fucking good game. But then if you decide to like play it like while you're halfway through your trip, it'll take a little bit of getting used to so you don't suck. Like I was playing this game called Enter the Gungeon, which is like, you know, it's like an indie game, you know, where you're shooting dudes and like my accuracy and everything was just really bad.
Because drugs.
And yeah, but then like it got really good. It was just back to normal. So like it's I don't know, and you get better at it. I feel like you get better at like tripping. You just start to like find what you're good at doing and what you like doing when you trip, and then you just do that, and you're just like in your happy place.
So you're the kind of person who says perhaps to drugs?
Yeah. I mean, it depends what it is. Like, if it's
Like,
something
where's
that's
your
gonna
line
get
then?
my heart
Like,
rate
what
up,
do you say no to?
Murder.
well, definitely, like, meth and heroin I would not do.
I will not murder someone for the
pretty
high.
sure I'm
That
gonna,
is
like-
not the high I want.
I'm still on the fence about cocaine, because I don't want a higher heart rate, because that would make me more anxious. But it does go away fairly quick, so I'm kind of like, well, whatever. If I just did a little bit, I would try it. Like, so I don't know.
I've done acid once, and it was on a very dumb incident. Someone put a acid tab on the underside of a Band-Aid and put that Band-Aid on an open cut I had on my arm.
Oh my god.
And I was already several
I would
days
be angry.
dehydrated
You
and
were drug
malnourished.
raped.
Well, no, I was not. Well, I mean, yes, but I was. I was induced well outside of my boundary of consent, and it was about 3 days of just slugging along. Because, like I mentioned, I was dehydrated at the time, and it was not fun.
No.
And everyone thought it was the funniest thing because, oh, look at this guy, he's having a hard time. And I just thought to myself, when I'm alive again, I'm
gonna
going to
fucking kill you.
murder every single one of you at a very slow,
You will be the first to die.
murderous fashion.
I'm gonna Liam Neeson your ass to hell.
I may not have many skills at all, and these may not be the skills required to kill you. But rest assured, when I'm capable, I will YouTube it, and I will take notes, and I will find a way to end your soul. All
I have
right,
a funny
Michael,
story about Liam Neeson.
Tell me a funny story.
It's not about Liam Neeson, but it's like years ago. We were at this. It's not. It was like a haunted. Like it's called. Shit. What's it called? It's like this like haunted thing like that you go to like those where people like jump out and like grab you and scare you.
Vagina.
Goop. Yes, it was that. And but it was like some haunted thing. And we were in line, and it was like super long, and we were like standing in line for hours. And at this point, it was like at the point where we're wondering, should we leave? Should we stay? Well, we're already like in the line, and we've stayed this long, so we might as well just go through with it. And this, I don't know why it was so funny, but like this was at the time like Taken 2 came out, and I heard some guy, and like everyone from Jersey, like like he doesn't sound like this, but my impressions of like other people in Jersey always sound the same. And he was like, why are we standing in this friggin' line? I could have been seeing Taken 2. And I just thought that was the funniest fucking thing I could have heard while standing in line at like 3 a.m. to see some haunted shit.
He's got a point.
I just feel like whenever something like that happens, where I've like waited too long, I'm like, what am I doing here? I could have been seeing Taken 2.
That's a line to remember.
It is.
Final thoughts about 7-Eleven. Your favorite item and your least favorite item about 7-Eleven. Michael first, go.
My least favorite item is the little mini tacos, because I feel like they're just little shriveled vaginas.
They have
And,
tacos?
Uh-huh,
Yes,
and they're awful.
they're not good.
He
Like-
took mine.
Like those
I'm
Booty
sorry.
Baby tacos?
They are fucking horrible.
They're the
Like,
worst.
You're allowed to
My
double up and
roommate
explain
loves
your
that.
Also-
He won't eat those.
Also, the tortilla to innard ratio is completely off.
It is. The tortilla, I'm getting drunk too. Tortilla is really floppy. And
Catch up.
And there's
God.
nothing fucking in them.
no,
And
so
also
you're just
they're
eating a
tiny,
floppy
and it's
tortilla.
just like a sad little Mexican ravioli.
Is it like just that like shitty fake Mexican meat?
Yes.
Like where it's all salt, no meat?
Yeah, where it's like, you know how like
Yes.
Jack in the Box has that like weird, it's not quite meat.
Yeah, the addictive
But
crack
it's-
tacos.
okay,
You have
But
to
here's
have them
the
because they're
thing:
like taking
is
crack.
7-Eleven has like the sad off-brand like gucky version.
Our
Even
Seb
enough
tries
of
to
it.
give them away for free.
Of
Like
course
sometimes
they do.
they'll be like, please take these goddamn things.
We can't
And
sell
nobody
them.
wants them.
Would you like a 7-day-old taco that no one would buy on their day one? That's
Please
fresh.
take it.
Talk about lonely food.
Oh God! All right, so what's your
My favorite thing. Okay. Like food or like just like my favorite thing I get there?
of all across the board?
Okay. I would say my favorite thing that I get there, and I don't get it very often, just because, I don't know, I just feel like I shouldn't have this all the time, but I fucking love Yoo-Hoo. And I always end up getting one
So
at
does
Sev.
my brother-in-law.
Yoo-hoo is just fuck.
And it's
Ovaltine.
trash.
Yoo-hoo
Like, I know
just
what it is,
heartfelt.
but
Really? Fuck you. I fucking grew up on Ovaltine, and I used to, like, grab spoonfuls of Ovaltine, like, and just shove it in my mouth as a
Your
kid.
I
Ovaltine
did that
can suck
too,
my
though.
YouTube
So
cock.
I feel you, Haley. I used to do that too.
I love Ovaltine. I mean, Yoo-hoo, I feel like Yoo-hoo was such a treat for us. Like, I didn't get exposed to it a whole lot. But my brother-in-law, he's obsessed with Yoo-hoo.
The difference between Ovaltine and Yoo-hoo is that one, Yoo-hoo's better, and two, when you're done drinking Ovaltine, you can't smash the bottle and stab someone in the neck with it.
Okay, well, I'll give you that one. But Ovaltine is not, like, Ovaltine is not the lesser form of Yoo-hoo. I feel like Nesquik is the lesser form of Yoo-hoo.
Fair.
I would, yeah. Yes, I agree with that.
That's like the I'm okay with slavery version of Yoo-hoo.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I accept this.
Yeah, like
Right, Haley?
if there's nothing else, because like I would take like True Moo and like just about everything else
True
over a
Moo.
Nesquik.
Amen.
I've even
Haley.
taken protein shakes over Nesquik. So there you go.
The Monster has those protein shakes. They got those
I've
like
had
protein, energy-inducing, lactation, cow tit milk thing they got. It's gross. Least and favorite things of 7-Eleven, Haley. Tacos are taken, so what's your runner-up?
Damn. The runner-up, man. Because I really fucking hate those tacos.
You can go in whatever order you want. If you'd rather just say your favorite thing off the bat to give yourself some time.
Okay, my favorite thing off the bat, I don't know if they have them anymore, because, like, I used to go to 7-Eleven all the time when I was a kid, like, because my mom was a teacher, and, like, so we would, like, run in, and she would grab, like, her giant-ass thing of coffee, and, like, we would get, like, our lunch, and so, like, I love the, like, it was, like, the Tony Romo's, like, beef sandwiches. Like the barbecue beef sandwiches.
remember
I
that
fucking
place.
love those so much.
Okay, nice.
I never saw that before.
Oh
That's
my
pretty
God,
I've
cool.
seen
they're
those either.
so
I've
fucking
seen those
good.
elsewhere, but not at Sev's.
Really?
No.
At my Sev's? Yeah, that's all they had. My brother and I would fight over, like, the barbecue beef one. And some, like, they have pulled pork. And it was just, like, really good.
Getting a food going here.
My least favorite, probably, like, the limited edition off-brand slushies that they have.
Oh, you know what? I hear those
Oh,
are getting
yeah.
shittier and shittier every time they try.
I can't stand them. I'm like, if it's not cherry Coke, like, get out of my face.
And excuse me, it's called a Slurpee. Thank you very
Whatever,
much.
Slurpee, fuck it. I don't give
Been
a
around
shit.
for 50
My
fucking
favorite-
years.
My favorite one is, like, their watermelon. But, like, the limited edition ones, I'm like, if it's not cherry Coke, get it out of my face.
I can't remember the last time I had a Slurpee that wasn't a, like, layered, like, every flavor they have Slurpee.
That's what my brother is.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I never did that. I always just got like maybe as a kid I tried it because like my parents thought it. I don't know. Because I feel like Sev's always been around, but like I've only had like 2 times in my life where I was going a lot, and one was like when I was a little kid because there was one around the corner,
Right.
and then now that I'm an adult because there's one around the corner. But like I wouldn't go out of my way to go to one. It was just that it's there, so I'm like, all right, so we'll go. But I never like really mix them. It's usually the Coke one or like a blue one, you know.
When I was in high
I never
school,
get cherry
remember
because I don't like cherry. But
there was a cheerleader at one of the high school football games that was drinking a Slurpee the entire game, one of those big giant ones, and couldn't figure out why. As the game progressively went on, she was getting worse and worse at the routines and getting sloppier and sloppier and laughing and eventually being carried away. And now as an adult, I realize what was in that Slurpee and why she was having such a good time. So go her. Go you, lady. I'd say my least and favorites. I'll start with my favorites. My favorite part about 7-Eleven, especially the local one, is the head that I get from Crystal around the back. She's there all the time. I've never been there, and she's always there, willing to put out. My least favorite thing about 7-Eleven is how much it itches after I get head at 7-Eleven. I'm not sure if the two are related, but it's every time.
should have went with the Limp Biscuit. It's much better.
Yeah, they sell lots of very baked goods and biscuit goodness there. So
Their oatmeal cookie is pretty good.
yeah,
Is it?
I'm a dirty whore for an oatmeal cookie. My favorite ice cream sandwich is an It's It, which is served on an oatmeal cookie because I'm an oatmeal cookie whore.
Oh, what? I didn't realize that It was served on an oatmeal cookie. What
son.
the fuck? Did you just change my life right now?
Mm-hmm.
Fuck.
Welcome to your third eye, son. So, we're running out of time here and getting close to it, and this is usually around the time that we allow ourselves to talk spoilers. And Haley, last night something happened, and we're running out of time to talk about this. Do you want to institutionalize Spoiler Zone?
Oh, spoiler zone, spoiler zone.
All right, everyone who doesn't know, we are going to be talking for the next 60 seconds-ish about spoiler-based activity of in this situation, I'm assuming, Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones.
Because Haley looks like she has emotions now that I brought it up.
Oh my
Michael,
God.
do you watch or give two shits about Game of Thrones?
I watch it, but I don't give three shits. But I do watch it, and I'm caught up.
Okay, because
Okay,
I was going to say, I could just eject you from this call right away.
Feelings,
But
because I'm pissed.
I'm going to go ahead and say in the next 5 seconds, I'm going to start you off. Everyone, spoiler zone, 60 seconds. Go, Haley.
Oh my God, okay. So the fact that Daenerys comes fucking riding in on this dragon
Bitch.
and like Tyrion asked her, like, if the bells ring, that's the sign of surrender. Don't fucking fuck everything
Did
up.
the bells ring, Haley?
Yes, they did. And you know what? She fucking burned down that city fucking big fat anyway.
Because she's a bitch.
Because she's a bitch. And I have... Everything sucked, and I'm so mad. And I'm like, John's like, oh, the fuck? What did I get myself into? And I feel like everything's going to shit and fuck everything.
And like everyone's dead now.
Pretty much.
All right, 20 seconds. Go. Who's dead?
The Hound is dead. The Mountain is dead. Jaime and Cersei are dead. Good fucking riddance. Also, fuck you for all of that character development for nothing.
Mm-hmm.
For nothing.
For nothing.
I'm so glad we can come all the way here just so some woman can throw a temper tantrum and kill everyone.
And have him turn the fuck back.
We're missing one. Someone else is dead.
Who
Yeah.
the fuck is dead?
Baldy.
Baldy? Oh,
Baldy.
Varys. Fucking Varys is dead, and I'm not happy about it. And it makes me so sad that he was like, I really hope I deserve this. I genuinely hope I'm wrong. And then guess what? He wasn't.
Because she turned out to be a what?
A fucking mad queen. And this is what pisses me off about the show is like, this should have been a long, slow slip into madness for her, but because we're trying to wrap shit up, they're like, let's jump the gun. Let's make her seem like she's fucking nuts. All of a fucking sudden. Anyway, that's all I have to say, and I'm so glad that Arya found that random white horse and rode the fuck off in it.
You know what? That random white horse, you know what that felt like to me?
What?
When you whistle for your horse in Red Dead, and the horse just shows the fuck up and stares at you like, are you getting on or what?
Right?
Arya pushed up on her control pad.
My favorite thing was when it felt like, you know how like Gandalf like sends that white horse to just like save everybody? I feel like he sent it to Arya.
We're so far outside.
Yeah.
60 seconds. I don't get too
Okay, anyway, that's all I have to say.
Yeah, all right. So there we go, everyone. There's your spoiler zone for by our dear Haley.
Spoiler zone ended.
I
Skippers.
100% agree. I just think
shit,
the
right?
writing has like given up at this point. Like, what the fuck?
I think
But
they're
okay.
just like trying to tie up loose ends so quickly that they're just like, let me fucking jump the gun on all of this shit and you can just fill in the blanks yourself.
I feel like they cut 2 episodes down into 1 and released it.
Mm-hmm. It felt
Yeah.
very forced, especially because the characters usually have such organic character arcs. It just
Can I
feels
just
so forced.
take a minute
Right,
and
like-
explain that the Mountain with his helmet off looks like a really, 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 really fat Anakin now?
He's definitely stuffed sausage
I
syndrome.
called
like,
him
he's
the
really
rotting
gross.
potato. Good old
Rotting
potato
potato.
face.
He looks like a potato. That's a good point. Well, Michael, we're about running out of time here. Anything we can blah. Michael, we're running out of time here. Anything we should start looking into about you in the future? Are you looking to do anything?
No. I
That would have been the
writing
perfect
more
response.
lately.
Is I throw him under the bus.
No.
Here, you know
But-
what? I want you to do your shit. Do your shit on my show now.
No.
No.
Fuck you.
I'm not doing it. I'm just gonna drink Pabst. I have been writing again, so hopefully I'll be starting to show that more. We are gonna maybe start our own podcast as well, where we'll be
What's it gonna be
covering various things. I don't know yet. They're still like Rich and Shannon are still working that out. I will talk about any fucking thing.
You know what I haven't
so-
found yet? I have not found a podcast about people who are finding new locations on their body where pimples form.
about?
Oh, I have a lot to say about that.
There we go.
But and I would like to start making some videos about video games and some like concepts of video games that I've been talking to you a little bit about, Christian. But yeah, just like some goof thing, nothing really crazy yet, but soon.
Well,
Very
Michael,
soon.
it's been a pleasure having you on the show.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. It's been great being here.
Getting drunk, doing nothing, talking about bullshit, and orange people.
I got through 3 beers.
And the good old Sev.
And I have one more sip left in my Four Loko, so...
And I got halfway through and I tapped out.
Yep, because fuck Four Loko.
Yeah, fuck Four Loko.
The official sponsor of this podcast.
Send that shit here.
Not really.
I will pack it the fuck up and send it your way. Because, like, fuck this drink.
Now, I'll be honest, Four Loko, if you guys want to go ahead and sponsor our podcast, we will take your money and we will talk absolute trash on your drink. But
and you know what, Four Loko?
Good
if
God,
you
this is
sponsor
horrible.
us, I will finish a Four Loko.
If you sponsor us, I will drink at least one of each flavor and call it quits for the rest of my life.
Friends, drink Four Loko if you hate yourself.
Friends, buy Four Loko to get it off the shelves if you love the rest of the world.
So sacrifice yourself and buy Four Loko.
What would Jesus do? Would Jesus suck down a Four Loko so the drunks next to him wouldn't have the addiction? I think so. So chug yourself a Four Loko the way Jesus would.
How do we know that Jesus didn't turn water into Four Loko?
He may have. He may have turned Four Loko into wine instead.
He was serving it to other people.
Well, on that, my Four Loko is done in one last messy sip.
Hooray! You did it.
Michael, thank you for joining us. Haley, thank you as
you.
always. If you like this podcast, please like, subscribe, comment, talk to your friends, share it, talk to someone down the street, make it weird. I don't know. Hit on them, buy them a steak dinner. If they're a vegan, definitely take them a steak dinner. Anyways, I'm your host, Christian. With me are my friends as always, and may the awesomeness be with you.